Hello, and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got a review for a movie that may have flown under a lot of radars, unless you're a Guy Ritchie fan. That being, of course, Operation Fortune, Ruse de Guerre, which recently came out in theaters after a very unknown delay, as it was supposed to come out last year, early 2022, and then it just gets pulled from release in theaters, and I legitimately thought we were going to be seeing it in streaming at the end of the year. Luckily, this still got a theatrical release. I am very happy for fellow YouTuber Cake Dive for keeping me in the know on whether this movie would get released eventually, if it would get in a domestic release here in the US, or if I was just gonna have to watch it on streaming because it got sold to some streaming service. So, mad props to the Cake Dive for keeping my sanity in check with updates for this film. Now, let's get into it and let's see how well it does on the Hot Pockets to hand grenade spectrum. Is it a Hot Pocket or is it a hand grenade? Let's find out. So, let's start off as we normally do here on the channel with story. The story is as simple as it comes. Bad guys steal stuff, government gets group of mercenaries, I guess, to steal it back to return to the government. It is super simple, and it plays out well for what it is, but due to the fact that it's just so generic in nature and not super memorable, it is an issue with it. It's something that, yeah, you can see every once in a while, but you're not going to keep rewatching this. It's like, yeah, oh, do I want to watch movie number 20 where bad guys steal something and our main protagonists steal it back by doing some elaborate operation, scheme, ruse? Oh my gosh, is that why it's Operation Fortune? Because they had to get lucky? No, I think the Operation Fortune title is actually really dumb. This movie should have just been called Ruse de Guerre. I think that would have worked so much better, because they don't label it as Operation Fortune, because the main character's name is just Fortune. The title doesn't make sense to me, and I'm ranting on it. But in terms of a story, this is a Hot Pocket score. Like, when it's there, I'm gonna definitely be having it, but I'm not gonna choose this flavor particularly every time. I'll choose other ones if I have the choice, because there's such a huge variety in this specific story structure and storyline. In terms of cinematics, it is really stunning to watch. There are some really good action sequences, but most of the time the action, unfortunately, kind of left me a little disappointed. But I think that's the issue. Like, a lot of these gun action movies where they just shoot fully automatic weapons the whole time, it's a little bland and not very interesting to watch unless you are the John Wick team, because that is the only like gun action film that is exciting and engaging to watch the whole way through. But I was expecting a little more due to Guy Ritchie's name being attached to this project. So in terms of cinematics, it unfortunately does kind of have to go on that Hot Pockets side, but there are enough sequences that it could have been hand grenade. So it's really just a bit of a split there. Now, directing. It is well directed, but like I said, it was missing that Guy Ritchie flair that I'm used to seeing in movies such as the Sherlock Holmes duology with Robert Downey Jr., his film The Gentleman, which is fantastic, and of course in Aladdin, the live-action remake. That was engaging to watch the whole way through, and I do think it was because of the Guy Ritchie style. This film was just missing that Guy Ritchie style, unfortunately. It wasn't as noticeable as in the other ones, I think, and that really hampered the action. But now this is where the movie's bread and butter come in, and that was the acting. The whole cast looked like they were having the time of their lives filming. Jason Statham is good. Aubrey Plaza is phenomenal. Um, Carrie Eulis, who was the main reason why I even found this movie for some reason. Guy Ritchie was the main reason, but then Carrie Eulis is the reason why I wanted to see this movie, and that is because one of my favorite shows of all time is Psych, and Carrie Eulis plays a recurring character in Psych called Pierre Despereaux, and he is one of the suavest motherfuckers around, and I loved that character so much that I was willing to see this movie based off of him alone. And then I saw the rest of the cast, and I'm like, oh wow, this is actually a pretty good cast. Hugh Grant is in it, and he is phenomenal, and he is hilarious in this movie. Like, him and Aubrey Plaza were making, like, every scene that they were in, especially those scenes that they were in together, I was trying to hold laughter back because they were very funny in this film. And I think a lot of what could have been good in the, I think all the points of the action department went into comedy because this movie was very funny. So in terms of acting, this is a solid hand grenade score. Like, it is, it's explosive in its acting department because every character, every cast member, just like, they looked like they were having a good time, and it was fun. They were having, it was very fun to see the on-screen chemistry with all those characters. Now this is where a lot of the points are coming from, and that is my expectation and experience. The experience was great based on Aubrey Plaza's character alone, due to the fact that she was like Barney fucking Stinson. Almost every other line that came out of her mouth was some way sexual in nature and in tone, making so many people have, like, noticeable discomfort in, like, watching, and it was so funny. I was laughing every time because I could feel the atmosphere of discomfort every time she made one sexual joke in that movie. And it's very Barney Stinson of her from How I Met Your Mother, obviously. And it was so funny to witness everyone just go, ooh, I don't know about that one, Chief. I was laughing every time, especially with the conversations that Aubrey Plaza's character and Hugh Grant's character had in this film, which were very funny. I almost laughed every single time. So that was great on experience alone. My expectation, I was expecting a little more action from this, but I was not expecting as much comedy. So due to the fact that the comedy surpassed my expectation, but the action, like, was a little under my expectation, it sort of balanced it out. So because it's like almost every joke in this movie landed with me, I'm very easy to make laugh, if you haven't noticed, due to the fact that almost every movie I've reviewed on here has been like a super fun ride that I'm willing to go rewatch every year. But it was just kind of a blast to watch. All my buddies that I saw this with had also seen Cocaine Bear, and we were comparing the two a lot, even though these are two very different styles of movies, but both were equally funny, and I equally enjoyed them both. So it was tough to rank them one above the other. So, but I guess that's where my expectations and experience land. It is definitely a solid hand grenade there. It was explosive, quite literally at some points, and the comedy just made me explode in laughter. See what I did there? So, because of that, solid hand grenade score on experience / expectation. Which leads me to the final roundup, because in all honesty, there's not really a spoiler corner. So in a final roundup, this movie's rating directly falls in the Cocaine Bear atmosphere. Like, I will rewatch this very frequently due to that comedy, but not necessarily to watch it, but mostly have it on in the background. So I have to say that this movie is the first one to land on the Hot Pocket side of the spectrum. Now, remember, just because it's on the Hot Pocket side doesn't mean it's bad. It's just not something that it will not be your first choice, because there's so many different flavors of Hot Pockets out there in the world that if this one's there and easily available, you're picking this one. But if there's another one that's very similar, slightly better, you're going to pick that one instead. It's just the way the world works. And I guess that's all I have for you all today. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed. And I'll catch you on the next one.